Hey guys, Omni here. Welcome back for episode 3 of The Bad Batch. The last episode saw the gang landing on Selukami looking for some help from a clone that has been in a similar position as theirs, the deserter Cut, and his family. What I really liked about this episode among the character development between Hunter and Omega, Omega really got to shine here because of Cut's family, his children, and seeing how Omega has not really been allowed to be a kid, learning what playing is, learning about, just interacting with other children, having fun for just the sake of having fun, and then finding kind of her place in the group, and as well as Hunter trying to reconcile what it means to be in the position that they're in and caring for a child. So his arc throughout the whole thing is, of course, we kind of had that typical trope that tends to happen where it's like, it's not safe with us. They are meant for a better life. So we're going to, would you mind taking them with you? Because the Empire now, the Now Empire is starting to spread out their control into the galaxy. And we get to see some of the ground level ways that that's happening with the reinforcement, the implication of chain codes, kind of like this social security number so they can track everybody in the galaxy. There's an assigned designation to everybody. You can't leave planets without them. You can't exchange your old credits for Imperial credits without one, so you're forced to register, as they're also forcibly registering ships, which is another thing that kind of becomes really important down the road in the OT, and then in Mandalorian especially, we see a lot of talk about chain codes. But the family doesn't have one. Obviously, Cut can't really go and ask for one. Being a clone, it's really easy for him to be noticed when these things are being enforced mostly by leftover clones from the Clone Wars. Now that those are over, they are now the enforcers in a lot of these worlds. As I'm curious as if we'll see like more of the transition to the conscripted troops like Tarkin has wanted to do, which leads into, of course, the stormtroopers down the road. So the team figures out a way to try and kind of forge their own chain codes to get them off world, because they figured, at least Cut and his family's excuse for not going with the Bad Batch is because they've got too much heat and they just want to be a family. They don't want none of what's coming after them to come to their doorstep. So the team decides to help them forge some chain codes. Of course, obviously, that as a group, they would like to have some too. And they made some for each of his family members and one for Omega, because Hunter was going to pass her off with them to give her that better life. Once she found out about it, though, wasn't too thrilled. She's like, I chose to be with you guys. I want to be with you. And she kind of gets, I guess she does kind of understand the severity of what's going on, especially, I would imagine, especially so since she experienced everything that happened just like them back on Camino. So it was an interesting little ground level episode that kind of pushed our narrative forward. Having Hunter kind of have this like reluctant father-like figure, which seems to be a very common trend in Star Wars right now, and it's very welcomed because I think we don't see enough of that. I mean, it might feel like we're seeing a lot with Star Wars, but if we're talking like media as a whole, it's not that huge of a common thing to see like these surrogate father figures or people stepping in to take these roles, much like Mando did, much like he did. I mean, the theme of fatherhood runs thick in Star Wars. I mean, honestly, it's the core values of what that relationship, father and son, like all that stuff kind of ties into the OT even too. So I do like how they're kind of keeping that theme, and I'm curious. I like that the ground level like world building that happened during the episode too. So seeing the little ways, the micro ways in which we see the Empire growing. That being said, there was some fun action in it. It had a lot of great humorous moments. Wrecker even playing with the kids. There was a lot of nice little character beats with everybody in here that I really did enjoy it. It was a slower episode, but it was enjoyable. I really did like it. So I'm really looking to see what we got going on in episode 3. Remember, guys, the full-length unedited reaction watch-alongs are available over on Patreon, or if you become a member here on the channel, get you access to the same stuff. We got all the DC shows that I'm covering over there, the Marvel stuff, WandaVision, what have you, Invincible, all that's over there. So, guys, let's go ahead and dive into episode 3. Here we go. Replacements. Stormtroopers
doesn't look comfortable for either of you.
We're fine.
Chow time.
I love that there's just a gonk droid, like, on the ship at all times.
Hit me again. Well, that's all for now. Rations are low.
You can have mine.
Aw.
Omega doesn't even have a place to sleep. You want to take her food too?
Hmm.
No thanks. You keep it.
Aw.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm not used to having a kid around here. Well, none of us are. But she's not complaining.
You all had Wrecker.
Echo, lights cut out again. Thought you fixed it. Yeah, add it to the list. The ship got hit hard when we fled Seleucumai.
IT troubles, man.
Systems have been glitching.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Testing the functionality of our inhibitor chips takes precedence. Well, I thought you said they were defective. A theory this device will be able to prove. Getting thrown out of hyperspace. I'd say that's pretty critical, Tech. It's not affecting life support. Kidding me? Get ready for your first crash landing.
Crash?
Omega, strap in.
Oh. Man, theme park struggles right there, man.
Hold on.
Oh no!
We're gonna die.
Theme park struggles. Oh.
Is it over?
Theme parks. Am I right?
Ooh.
Replacements, like parts for the ship, it's gotta have a deeper meaning of that.
That's Crosshair's weapon kit.
Oh. Fennec?
Fine.
Replacements for Crosshair?
I kinda miss him. He shot you, remember? Ha! I sure do. That hurt.
Oh no. What are they doing to him now?
Is that the enhanced clone from the report?
It is a top specimen.
What is the status of Project War-Mantle?
On schedule, sir. Our top recruits are here to begin their training under their new commander. A strong ruling government requires an increase in soldiers to maintain order throughout the galaxy. May I present our first elite squad?
I think some theories are coming true.
From across the galaxy. Imagine more squads like this being trained by skilled clones. Together, they would make a formidable army.
I heard a couple of people saying, like, because of his design, his suit, his marksmanship skills, he might be the template for the Death Troopers or one of the other offshoots, like the elite groups they send in. And the black armor on these, the black suited clone armor they're still wearing, despite not being clones. It's not. They're not clones of him, at least. That's one thing some people were kind of pointing out, but he might be the stepping stone to that. I love when shit gets spooky like this, man.
Well, those weren't there when we landed.
You douche!
What's wrong with you? I must have hit my head in a crash. The capacitor's in place, but other systems
Is this
are now
chip
failing.
poking
Something's
through?
causing damage to the exterior hull. You want to narrow that down?
I mean, they've been talking about the chips being a problem.
Some kind of creature. About this big, with a long tail. It ran off with the part.
The creature is most likely an Ordo moon dragon, a species that feeds on raw energy. Stay here. I'll go after the dragon and get our part back. I'm fine. You're staying.
I'll go with you.
No, that thing could be dangerous.
I'm part of this squad now too, right?
All right, kid. Just stay close.
know about that decision, but okay.
The war's over. Who's left for us to fight?
With the Empire, I get paid, I get fed, and I have a roof over my head. That's more than the Republic ever did for me.
Conscripted recruits will never reach.
I like that. Giving you a reason to why, like, the average folk enlist.
I want Saw Gerrera's camp found and wiped out. Let's see if they can succeed where Clone Force 99 failed.
What are you doing?
Tracking.
Oh.
Could I learn to track like you?
Well, it's an enhanced skill. Wrecker and Tech, we each have one.
And Crosshair, you shouldn't be angry at him. He can't help it.
I'm angry at myself. We don't leave our own behind.
Then we'll find a way to get him back.
Oh.
Somehow.
If you all are so efficient, how come the Empire's scouting soldiers like us? Sounds to me like
Cheaper.
change. Enjoy being commander, for now. We'll see how things shake out.
Wait, a sensor's been triggered in Sector 2A. Alert the others!
Get our people on the shuttle!
Why did it leave it out in the first place?
Getting away! Hunter, you're lost!
Oh no.
Hunter, wake up! Wake up! Echo, Wrecker, Tech, come in! We need help!
We gonna get a taste of what Omega can do?
Okay, Omega, you can do this.
God damn, man. Oh my god.
Where's Gerrera?
I don't know, but I wouldn't tell you if I did.
I believe you.
Oh.
Do any of you have information you'd like to share?
We don't know anything.
Then you're of no use to the Empire.
What are you doing? These are civilians. We should bring them in.
Those weren't our orders.
Forget our orders. This is wrong.
So you're not going to comply.
No, none of us are. Ignore the clone. We signed up to be soldiers, not an execution.
Oh wow.
You want to know why they put me in charge? It's because I'm willing to do what needs to be done. Good soldiers follow orders.
God damn. That got fucking dark quick.
There it is. Guess I got lucky. I'm coming!
I mean, will it still work after it's been absorbed?
What were you thinking going down there?
The mission was to retrieve the capacitor, wasn't it? I tracked the dragon, like you did.
Is that my blaster?
Didn't have to use it. I got the part.
Oh.
Impressive. Impressive. The clone commander's new squad has followed through, where his brethren did not. The clone trooper program is a cost-prohibitive relic of the past.
With more time and training, our forces will be unlike anything the galaxy has seen.
Then I leave this project in your capable hands, Admiral.
Thank you, sir.
If Rampart has his way, conscripted soldiers will make clones obsolete. We must ensure our clones remain essential.
The original genetic material from Jango Fett continues to degrade.
Then it is time to begin the next phase. If your experiment can yield a superior clone, it will secure our relationship with this empire.
Such a contingency cannot be created without a direct source. The clones required will not return willingly.
We only need one. Our survival hinges on it.
Oh, what do they got? What are they scheming? Oh, this is their barracks all cleaned up.
Cover your eyes.
Oh, do you make her a bed?
Okay. Open them. Check it out. It's your own room. What do you think? I thought this place could feel more like a home.
It's perfect. Thank you, Wrecker.
It was nothing.
Oh, and he gave her the little
Never had my own room before.
bunny thing.
Well, you're part of this squad now, too.
Damn. I'm worried about that one, though. I'm worried about Wrecker, man. Tech was talking about how vital it is that they keep checking on their chips because maybe eventually they'll wear down. I'm not sure exactly how many days it's been since the activation of Order 66 and how long that it's been trying to activate in them. And like he said, it was like, who knows? We got to keep an eye on this, you know. And he's like, that takes priority of putting our ship back together, which got them in this whole situation. So Tech's really focused in on that. But Wrecker, man, just throughout the episode was just having random headaches when nothing happened. I talked about this initially going into the season, how like out of the group, Wrecker was the one that got on my nerves the most. And it was because he was just so extra and definitely like the most childlike out of the group, but he's grown on me already in these first 3 episodes. And especially seeing his connection with other like-minded individuals, namely children, he's so endearing. And like the way, especially like with his little stuffed animal he was carrying around, and it was like he's all of his augmentations just went to his strength. It's like he's stunted in a way, but like he's still able to like overcome and provide this like compassion and care and brotherhood or fatherhood even that they all kind of have towards Omega right now. So I like that whole little bit about that. I like, again, just the 3-dimensionality they're adding to the world with the conscripted soldiers. And we saw a little bit of this, a glimpse into this, and of course in The Mandalorian. But I like they're diving into it in this. It's like, why did you sign up for the Empire? And it's like, because they gave me a job, they gave me a roof over my head, medical, they got insurance, all this stuff that they didn't get provided by the Republic. And a lot of the worlds right now, and throughout all of the war with the separatists and all that stuff, the Republic was torn and in a lot of ways wasn't providing help to a vast majority of the galaxy. So you see why the average person might be like, oh, well, this Empire's helping me out. Whatever. But the guy's ego was a little too big, and he got himself killed because he wasn't able to do the dirty work, like Crosshair, who, if he didn't have the inhibitor chip, I definitely do not think he would have gone through with what he did, and it was fucking awful. To think that a fair amount of them just got torched too, alive. I would have liked to have seen how they reflected on that, like the conscripted soldiers. Because we saw the one guy, this is just wrong. We got brought here to take out the insurgents, not kill these civilians or whatever. And it's like, that wasn't the orders. And Crosshair just like, ugh. And we also see a little bit, and we've seen it before, obviously, throughout the Clone Wars, but we see more of like, I think through that person, not only do we see like why the average person might lean towards the Empire in this time of transition, but we also see what the general, at least like how the general population through this guy's eyes view clones. Is like they just, again, see them as lesser, non-human, whatever. And he's like automatically challenging him right out the gate, demeaning him, and then look who got the job done. But yeah, I definitely think they're going to be, I think that they're going to be the progenitors for maybe the Death Troopers or one of these more elite squadrons, like the blueprint for training these elite forces. Obviously not your average stormtroopers, but I think that's going to be the starting point here, using Crosshair as the template. And like I was saying, I kind of called it with the replacements thing, because not only are we needing to seek out replacements for the clones, that's what they were. They needed also the crew needed a replacement part. Back on Kamino, the clones are being replaced by conscripted soldiers, and the Kaminoans themselves, now that the Empire is wanting to move away from clones, they need a replacement plan. Which is what I'm wondering, what Omega is and what was the source of her creation, because they've said that Jango's genetic tissue has been deteriorating, so it's not viable to keep doing what they're doing at the rate that they're doing it. And it's implied to me, maybe I read it wrong, that Omega comes from a different source. But they also talked about getting some of their clones back and using just at least one as the potential jumping off point. So I'm not exactly sure what the Kaminoans' plan is right now. I like that they're a third faction. And I'm wondering if we're going to see them come to conflict, because I know that's happened in the EU when the clones got shut down. You know, there was a rift that definitely escalated between the Kaminoans and the new Empire. So I'm curious to see if we'll see that explored in canon. And canon's a funny topic because, people have gotten a little bit upset about, Kanan's introduction in this being contradictory to what they established in the comics, and how Disney had promised. The whole reason the EU got wiped out was in the promise that everything, comic, game, book, movie, whatever, will all be canon. Like there will never be any confusion about what is real and what isn't. And this is the second time that a new canon book has been ignored by the visual realm. In The Mandalorian, we've ignored things with Ahsoka in final season of Clone Wars, and here we've ignored things with, again, Ahsoka, and then obviously Kanan. So there's things, again, it's just like, what's the point of the story group if they're not adhering to any of this stuff? But I still think it's fun. I don't keep up with most of that stuff mostly for that same reason, because it's mostly headed by the story group. And another thing that I wanted to kind of chime in on was, like, apparently Pablo Hidalgo, our most beloved figure over at Lucasfilm, said that all the stories of Star Wars Like, when you look at the canon of Star Wars, you should be looking at all of these stories as if they are history books. They're all recounted by different people, and sometimes somebody will remember something a different way. Sometimes somebody else will remember it a completely other way. And that's not canon then. Canon is the truth of what happened. Like, why, if anything could not be how it happened, then why should any of us be invested? This is just a little tangent that I've been kind of holding in on a little bit from, like, throughout the week once I saw all of that. Especially Lucasfilm's response from the story group that's supposed to be keeping all this in track. Like, the person who's supposed to be the lore master is just like, nah, we'll just whatever. Like, why care? Like, if it can just be retconned, it can just be ignored. Like, I know it's like the general populace is not going to care, but like, when you're somebody who like is like loves this stuff and like is there for the lore, the canon, the story, the characters, like, it's just another way that gives me some mixed feelings about Lucasfilm. While I love and support everything that Dave Filoni's doing, and I love it to death, and it's like, okay, this is Star Wars I can get behind. It's just like everybody else over there is just like, what the fuck are they doing? That being said, I didn't pay attention to that. I didn't know it. I never read the comic, so, and I just wish if they said a thing that they set out to do a thing, because it just seems like to them too, the movies themselves could not even be the truth. Like, what is that? It's just, I don't know. Even this, what we're watching, could not be exactly how it happened. Just another alteration, another memory about what happened. It just, it's stupid. They need a good PR team. Just stop tweeting shit, man. Anyway, that's been my thoughts on that. I like this episode. I like this episode a lot. Moving it forward, Omega trying to learn, observing, adapting, watching Hunter, her interactions with the group, her finding a place in with the group, Wrecker kind of taking on this caretaker role as well, and like adapting, him not being the child of the group anymore. It's like he's finally has to grow up a little bit within their own group. And it's going to make me really sad if his chip kicks in and they can't do anything to stop it and we lose him too. Because at this point, I'm just so endeared to him now. I don't want to see anything bad to happen to Wrecker. I would feel bad. It would feel like something bad just happened to a kid. And I don't want to see that. Tarkin, being the slimy snake he is, I just love... I know it's not Peter Cushing, but like this guy oozes all of that same charisma in the voice and the way that it's animated. They definitely are doing a fantastic job. And he was in the Clone Wars too, but this is more recent memory, obviously. And I just like, I never really thought about it before, like in the Clone Wars, but here, like, it's just like this guy, the performance between the voice and what we're seeing in the animation is really doing a good job at continuing that legacy. And I think honoring the aura of that character a lot. Let's see. Is there anything else? I think that's pretty much it. I like how last thing, the erasure of Clone Force 99's barracks, and that being them being the murder squad, the ones you send in for the crazy shit you don't want to send your regular clones into, became the new living space for this new experimental batch of conscripted soldiers led by Crosshair. And haven't seen like the contrast to where we saw that room before, like the personality, the space, and just seeing it all like cleaned away. And I'm just wondering, because there was a moment where we lingered on Crosshair, if like there's still a part of him, maybe like in the deepest pits of the back of his mind, where he's like remembering. There was something really somber about that closing shot on him. So yeah, I'm excited to see where we go from here. There's definitely a lot of mysteries afoot, and I love the more and more we're seeing like the world during this period, because I do think this is one of the most interesting yet unexplored time frames, at least in the general media, in the visual media. So I'm excited to see more of this. So guys, what did you think of this episode? Sound out the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below so we can carry on the conversation after the video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, the full-length reaction is available over on Patreon, or if you become a member here on the channel. Huge shout out to our patron legends, Mandy Sherritt, Antoine Rodriguez, and Ryan Karen. Thank you guys so much for your support, and everybody else who's been joining over there and becoming a member to the channel itself. We live stream every Saturday, so I hope to see you there. We got a Discord down in the description if you want to chat about Star Wars, DC, Marvel, just general TV, anime, games, what have you. We got a channel for just about everything. I'd love to see you there. Otherwise, I will catch you guys in the next episode of The Bad Batch, and may the Force be with you always. Take care, everybody.